I want to clarify a couple of things that I've mentioned in the last 15 segments or whatever. And you might want to go back and check from segment 1 and onward, see where we've come from up to the point where we are now. Periodically, a prospective student will come along and they'll say, "Do you do Meisner?" Meisner did Meisner. And at the risk of sounding arrogant, which of course I'm not, I do R.J. I'll tell you what my technique is. It's called CSA, Common Sense Acting. And I've been at this for 29 plus years. I've learned to do my own thing. I have a high regard for Sanford Meisner and Lee Strasberg and Stella Adler and the long line of master teachers. But I've learned to do what I do. And you take a little bit from here and a little bit from there. I think all good coaches do. I think that the original group theater with Strasberg and Adler and all the rest of them did that in regard to the Stanislavski method and what trickled down from him and all of his teachings. Common sense acting to me is being real within the work, being true to yourself. We are in the personality business. That's what we do. And common sense would tell you you have to be honest in your work. You have to bring yourself into your work. You can't lose yourself in some degree of a fictional character. The character becomes you. So common sense, it has to look like real life. So I have questions now today, our questions and answer session, and we'll go to the group and see who has a question. First up, yes, Ying.
Yes, RJ. I want to know what's the difference between theatrical and all television and commercial acting.
Commercial acting is really a numbers game. That's why a lot of the commercial actors, not to take away from them, are not skilled theatrical or film and television actors. It's about your look, because you have an agency, a creative director that for the commercial is really looking for a certain look, guys, so it becomes a numbers game. And I think that's why you have a first call and then the second call back and the third call back and on and on and on, where theatrically you're not likely to run into that. So commercials really is a numbers game. It's based on a look, and if an agency feels you fit their look, you're in.
What do you think about voiceover work?
Voiceover work, there's like a very small group of people that do that. There's voice casters like Bob Lloyd out there, but that's a very, very hard business, guys. That's very hard in terms of there's a very selective few that do it and do it very, very well. You'll notice that you'll hear a lot of the same voices on a lot of different commercials. And same for the network television announcers and so on. They seem to get it all. This select group, it's kind of always been that way. It's very, very tough to crack that market. Who else?
I've been to a lot of showcases where the casting directors are talking about their pet peeves. Right. Is it important to know all of their pet peeves? Pet peeves?
You're going to write down casting directors' pet peeves? You're going to write a book? Do you have a list of pet peeves you give them? You can have your own pet peeve. You go to the animal shelter, they have the dogs and the cat, and they have the peeves. And you just have to make sure if you're living in an apartment that the landlord allows peeves. And then when you have a collection of these little peeves, don't get big peeves, because they really can make a mess. Get little peeves and then make your list and give it to the casting directors. On a serious note, guys, it's like, who cares? You have to go in and do your thing the way you see it. Bring yourself into the room. Don't worry about pet peeves. Worry about, looking over the script, making the choice you want to make, and going to do the reading. If they like you, they like you. They cast you. If they don't, they don't. Move on. Who else?
About a month ago, you were in the Samuel French bookstore and you were talking about monologues, and you said they really don't have anything to do with acting. What did you mean by that?
When you have a monologue, there's no other person working with you. Well, so what's wrong with that? I mean, if you can feel emotion during this recital, why not? Well, because acting has to do with reacting. And you have to see that process working. And if that's not working, how do you know if a person can really act? What you have is a person who's very good at reciting.
Why do they call what we do an art form?
We're creative in what we do. We're visionary. Creative meaning what? Just like Michelangelo painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, or a Renoir, Monet, Modigliani, all the great artists, that's you. Because what they did was creative and unique to them, and what you do is creative and unique to you. You're using yourself, you're using your vision. What does it feel to you when you kiss someone, or someone says, I love you, or someone says, I hate you, I don't want you anymore? How does that make you feel? Not a concept of what you think it should make you feel because you're acting, but what do these things really mean to you? And because you're responding in that true self that you are, the perception is you're being very creative. Your responses are very unique. You're very special, different. There's nobody like you in the business. It's an art form. It's like any music group, any painter, any great artist, that's you too. You sign your name to your work. Comes in the form of the credits. Okay, so any other questions? All right, well good. Well, hopefully we answered your question as well at the same time. Visit us on the other segments we've done, and then we'll see you the next time on the Coaching Corner. I'm R.J. Adams.